President Joe Biden wrote a letter to Democrats telling them, hell no, I won't go. The Democrats want the president to drop out and turn the presidential office over to Kamala Harris. And he is saying, y'all ain't going to try to get me out of here. So he wrote a letter to the House Democrats. And he called into Morning Joe this morning, and people's like, Lord have mercy. So this is PBS News. It says, read Biden's full letter to congressional Democrats declining to leave the 2024 presidential race. I mean, this is a sad state of affairs. As I said yesterday, it really is sad. So I'm going to go ahead and read the letter. I don't know if I'm going to read all of it, girl. That's a big letter, President. That is a big letter you are writing to House Democrats. And of course, we know you didn't write the letter, okay? We know Auntie Jill wrote this letter. Go ahead and tell us. Auntie Jill wrote the letter. So comment below, cousins, what you tell me about this letter. Thank you for your love and support. Shout out to and welcome to all of our new cousins. Thank you so much for your love and support. So let's go ahead and read this letter. Joseph R. Biden Jr. And this letter is published July 8, 2024. Fellow Democrats, now that you have returned from the July 4th recess, I want you to know that despite all the speculations in the press and elsewhere, I am firmly committed to staying in this race, to running this race to the end, and to beating Donald Trump. I have had extensive conversation with the leadership of the party, elected officials, rank and file members, and most importantly, Democratic voters over these past 10 days or so. I have heard the concerns that people have, their good faith, fears, and worries about what is at stake in the election. So, cousins, y'all got to be able to read through the lines, okay? So, what he's saying right here is he's basically saying, oh, I know you're fearful. I know it's all good. And, you know, I'm accounting to your head and not to your heart. I know you just afraid right now. You know, I know you're worrying about it. But then he goes on to say, believe me, I know better than anyone the responsibility and the burden the nominee of our party carries. I carried it in 2020 when the fate of our nation was at stake. I also know these concerns come from a place of real respect for my lifetime of public service and my record as president. And I have been moved by the expressions, child, please, the mind manipulation. And I have been moved by the expressions of affection for me from so many who have known me well and supported me over the course of my public life. I've been grateful for the rock solid, steadfast support from so many elected Democrats in Congress and all across the country, and take great strength from the resolve and determination I've seen from so many voters and grassroots supporters, even in the hardest of weeks. It's all, we know the president didn't write this. This is all mind, okay, y'all? I'm not going to read all of it, I don't think. Should I read it all? I can respond to all this by saying clearly and unequivocally, I wouldn't be running again if I did not absolutely believe I was the best person to beat Donald Trump in 2024. We had a democratic nomination process, and the voters have spoken clearly and decisively. I received over 14 million votes, 87% of the vote cast across the entire nominating process. I have nearly 3,900 delegates, making me the presumptive nominee of our party by a wide margin. This was a process open to anyone who wanted to run. Only 3 people chose to challenge me. One feared so badly that he left the primaries to run as an independent. Another attacked me for being too old and was soundly defeated. The voters of the Democratic Party have voted. They have chosen me to be the nominee of the party. Do we now just say this process didn't matter, that the voters don't have a say? In other words, what he is saying is it's going to be a civil war, honey. They was fearing civil war when they allegedly stole the election from Donald Trump. I'm saying allegedly, okay? Joe Biden is the duly elected president of these United States, but I do have a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of people. I have a lot of cousins from all over the world and all over the nation, and some of the cousins, half of the cousins, do believe the election was stolen. Okay, so if y'all was fearing a civil war when when the election allegedly was stolen from Donald Trump, what Joe Biden is saying was, I was duly elected. The Democratic Party selected me. So come for me if you want to. Okay? Let's read on. Do we just listen to what he said? Do we just say this process didn't matter? That the voters don't have a say? So, in other words, he's saying, if y'all trying to kick me out, you are not respecting the voters' say. Let's read on. I feel the spirit. I feel the the whole letter in my spirit today. Okay, let me turn my ear on upstairs. I decline to do that. I feel a deep obligation to the faith and the trust the voters of the Democratic Party have placed in me to run this year. It was their decision to make, not the press, not the pundits, not the big donors, not any selected group of individuals, no matter how well intentioned. The voters and the voters alone decide the nominee of the Democratic Party. How can we stand for democracy in our nation if we ignore it in our own party? I cannot do that. I will not do that. I have no doubt that I and we can and will beat Donald Trump. We have an historic record of success to run on, from creating over 15 million jobs, including 200,000 last month, reaching historic lows on unemployment, to revitalizing American manufacturing with 800,000 jobs, to protecting and expanding affordable health care, to rebuilding America's roads, bridges, highways, ports, and airports, and water system, to beating big pharma and lowering the cost of prescription drugs, including a $35 a month insulin for seniors, to providing student debt relief for nearly 5 million Americans, to an historic investment in combating climate change. More importantly, we have an economic vision to run on that soundly beats Trump and the MAGA Republicans. They are siding with the wealthy and the big corporations, and we are siding with the working people of America. It wasn't an isolated moment for Trump to stand at Mar-a-Lago and tell the oil industry they should give him $1 billion and he will do whatever they want. That's whose side Trump and MAGA Republicans are on. Trump and the MAGA Republicans want another $5 trillion in tax cuts for rich people so they can cut Social Security and Medicare. We will never let that happen. It trickles down. It's trickle down economic on steroids. We know the way to build the economy is from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down. We are finally going to make the rich and big corporations pay their fair share of taxes in this country. The MAGA party is also still determined to repeal the Affordable Care Act, which could throw 45 million Americans off their coverage. We will never let that happen either. Trump got rich denying rental housing to Black people. We have a plan to build 2 million new housing units in America. They want to let Big Pharma charge as much as they want again. What do you think America's seniors will think when they know Trump and the MAGA Republicans want to take away their $35 insulin, as well as the $2,000 cap on out-of-pocket prescription costs? We Democrats just got them. Or what do you think American families are going to think when they find out Trump and the MAGA Republicans want to hit them with a $2,500 national sales tax on all imported products they buy? We are the ones lowering costs for families, from health care to prescription drugs to student debt to housing. We are the ones protecting Social Security and Medicare. Everything they're proposing raises costs for most Americans except their tax cuts, which will go to the rich. We are protecting the freedom of Americans. Trump and the MAGA Republicans are taking them away. They have already, for the first time in history, taken away a fundamental freedom from the American people by overturning Roe versus Wade. They have decided politicians should make the most personal of decisions that should be made by women and their doctors and those closest to them. They have already said they won't stop there and are going after everything from contraception to IVF to the right to marry who you love. And they have made it clear they will ban abortion nationwide. We will let none of that happen. I have made it clear that if Kamala and I are reelected, in other words, Kamala, stop trying to run for president. Stop trying to run for president. Is that what he's saying? I have made it clear that if Kamala and I are reelected and the nation elects a Democratic House and Senate, we will make Roe versus Wade the law of the land again. We are the ones who will bring real Supreme Court reform. Donald Trump and his majority want more of the same from the court and the chance to add to the right-wing majority they're built by subverting the norms and principles of the nomination and confirmation process. And we are standing up for American democracy. After January 6th, Trump has proven that he is unfit to ever hold the office of the president. We can never allow him anywhere near the office again, and we never will. My fellow Democrats, we have the record, the vision, and the fundamental commitment to America's freedoms and our democracy to win. The question of how to move forward has been well aired for over a week now, and it's time for it to end. In other words, y'all need to stop talking about me stepping down. I ain't stepping down. That's what he's saying. Okay? The question of how to move forward has been well aired for over a week now, and it's time for it to end. We have one job, and that is to beat Donald Trump. We have 42 days to the Democratic convention and 119 days to the general election. Any weakening of resolve or lack of clarity about the task ahead only helps Trump and hurt us. It is time to come together, move forward as a unified party, and defeat Donald Trump as a unified party. Sincerely, Joe Biden, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of these United States of America. All right, so that is the president's letter. What y'all think? We know the president didn't write it. Okay. We know that the president didn't write it. All right. I'm going to come back tomorrow and I'm going to read some of this other stuff that people are saying. But I think we just wanted to hear what the letters say. Tell me in the comments, what do you think about the letters? Comment. In other words, Joe is saying, y'all is listening. Hell no, I won't go. Y'all stop telling me to go. Stop telling me to quit. I ain't going nowhere. Stop asking me to go. It's over. It's done. I'm the only one that can beat Donald Trump. Now get y'all together and let's go beat Donald Trump. That's what he's saying. So I want to know what y'all think about this. Leave a comment for me. Thank you for your love and support. If you want to support my channel, you can join my membership below. You're welcome to give me super chats and super thanks and Cash App me, PayPal me. But most importantly, I always say check out my books on Amazon. Pick up a book, give it to somebody. Tell somebody about my book. I don't know if word of mouth is still the best advertisement. We're now living in social media, but, spread the word about my books. All available on Amazon. Love you, adore you. I'll be in the comments. Let me know. Bye.